Taxes, inflation, and the breakdown of the family are causing us to fall behind. We have the lowest net worth in the United States, and I'm sure those numbers cross the border as well.
Some people get the disability tax credit and they don't open the registered disability savings plan, and that's where the government puts in all the money of grants and bonds for a person with a disability who was done all the steps. Some people don't do all the steps.
Well, we all do all the steps. Ryan stepped out and he stepped back in, so he's back now. All right. Ryan's Friday stepping. What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations 2018 Innovation Award winner. I always mess that up. Innovation Award winner, given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner, given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads and fathers. It's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care. And being part of that team, reached out directly and indirectly to over 400,000 dads, fathers, and male caregivers around the world. As always, I'd like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. Good morning, Ryan Knight.
Hey, good day, Dr. Vibe. You'll see in honor of our guest today, I went and found my best golf shirt. But for those that don't know who I am,
sucking up for a free round already. All right, sucking up for a free round.
So for those that don't know who I am, my name is Ryan Knight, one of the co-founders of the Afro-Caribbean Business Network and also the founder of Detailing Nights. So we provide mobile waterless car cleaning. So we go to people's houses or their offices, clean their cars on the spot without using water, and our plant-based eco-friendly cleaning supplies. And as the season is slowing down, as the winter crisp gets into the air, we're trying to get our last details. So our 15-year anniversary was this year. So we had our $25 off special. So that is until the end of November. So if you want to get your car cleaned, you have about 8 days to lock it in to get that special. But always good to see you, brother.
Right back at your family, all right?
Yeah, things seems good.
They're doing their thing. They're doing their thing, right?
Yes.
All right. A bunch of things we got to do before we get our we'll go to break and get 2 new friends on the platform. So as always, subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. We're really getting close to 1,600. Really, I'm speaking by the end of this weekend, 1,600 will be a done deal, and we'll go over 1,610 increments at a time. Also, follow the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Also, if you want to advertise your business, product, or service on any of the platforms that I'm on, email me dr.vibe at the vibe.show.com. Join our Discord group where we continue the conversation in between epic conversations. Just email me again, dr.vibe at the vibe.show.com. Can't forget Dr. Tachi, Indie Soup Media, an independent content creators platform with over 40 independent content creators. And now probably 8-9 months have over 20,000 YouTube subscribers. So Ryan, I'm going to have you introduce our new friends.
Well, it's not an area or a sport that I'm very familiar with. So every so often trying to dip my toe in the water of golf. And initially it started with a gentleman named Sean Allen who created the Black Golfers WhatsApp group. So that got us out, golfing more. And then, so because I'm part of that group, I got invited to the Carabana golf tournament last year. So it was the first time Carabana was doing that. And I think it was close to Kitchener. And so at this golf tournament, I get to meet the UBACG group. I believe it was Garfield or somebody was there. It was like a table of gentlemen from this group. So learning that this, I would say, more established Black golfers group existed was great. And then so I just been following along, but I'm in the WhatsApp group, but these gentlemen are serious about golf and they are really good. So I'm like not trying to intrude with my terrible golf score, but I get to chat with Garfield every so often as he's learned about the project I'm working on, and I've been able to support some of the project he's working on. So we wanted to learn more about not just the group and how the men are coming together and supporting each other, but also the initiatives that the UBAGC supports. So happy to introduce Garfield. I believe Curtis with us? Or
This Curtis's camera is not on, so I can't bring him on. And Garfield, you need to unmute yourself. So I'm waiting for Curtis's camera to come on so I can bring him up on stage. So Garfield, all right, Garfield, you can hear us, correct?
I can.
Wonderful. Well, great to have you this morning. Would you golf in this weather that we have outside?
I am a fanatic.
Okay, that tells me.
We have there's a couple of things that from a golf perspective that we say it could be, if it's a little bit wet, it's okay, we'll play. If it's a little bit cold but not too wet, we'll play. If it's a little bit cold, not too windy, we'll play. So Canada has a very short season, so any opportunity we get to play, we'll play, and there's just no excuses, my friend.
Okay. Other thing I want to ask, how good or not good is Ryan? Be honest.
Oh my goodness!
Wow. So I didn't get to play with Ryan directly.
Was that on purpose?
No, I did see the scores that came in, and his team did okay. I don't know how he contributed, but his team did okay. They weren't the winners for sure, but the team did do okay. And Ryan, you're welcome. Listen, as you'll hear as Curtis gets on, this group really is open to all golfers of all skill levels. The purpose of the group really is bringing together a bunch of brothers and sisters and others who are committed to the cause of sort of giving back to our community. We noticed we've been golfing together for a long, long time. Golf, as you know, is not something that was big in our community. In fact, the story I tell people as I walk around today, ask me why this passion for golf. I fell into it. I got introduced to it through work. I was working in a corporate establishment, a financial institution, and there's a bunch of folks that used to go out on a regular. And I thought, what the heck is that? Why would I walk around and chase this little white ball and try to hit it? It's not even like an athletic sport. And when we went out for team building, and as much as I tried, I couldn't hit the ball. And I thought, the ball's not moving. What the heck is going on? And the first ball that I hit, and it went, I thought, okay, I can do this again. And ever since then, I've been sort of getting that feeling of hitting that shot and having it go where I want it to go. And now I play way more than they do. I call them, and they've got no time for golf. But it's a passion of mine, right?
That is good. I'm going to see. Curtis, can you hear us? Okay, he's not. Yeah, he's not up yet. Okay, so we'll see what he can do. Curtis, maybe you want to log out and log back in. So I'm gonna just kick off the conversation saying, can you tell us about the origins of the United Brothers Golf Association of Canada? How did it begin, and what's the inspiration behind it?
Yeah, great. So as I said, we've been golfing together for years. Many of the people that are actually in the association have been golfing for like over 30 years. I've been golfing for somewhere around 16, 17. So I met a lot of these guys through other sports, through life events, and then again we connected through golf. And in 2020, just at the beginning of COVID, golf was one of the only sports that you could actually go out and play because everything was on lockdown and big open area. They weren't afraid of COVID spreading that much. They had the right protocols, easy to put the protocols in place, and one evening we sat there and we actually, after having the round of golf, we were thinking about all of the sports that were actually lacking, all of the people that weren't able to connect anymore. And we got into the conversation bigger than sports itself, just life and a lot of the communities that are no longer able to be in touch, like kids and seniors who counted on getting out to the mall and walking together as their form of exercise or going to the park. They couldn't do that anymore. And that led me to walk away and sort of do an assessment of how are those people doing? How are they being taken care of? And I quickly became aware of the fact that some of the organizations that were out there that were assisting these organizations were struggling themselves. They were struggling to get funding as the government sort of organized themselves around, what's going on, where's money going, helping businesses. They sort of lost touch of some of these community groups, and they were suffering. They were suffering not just from isolation, but they were suffering from a lack of funding. So I brought it back to the group to say, hey, listen, this is something that I think we can do. We're all fairly established people. We've been at this for a while. Golf is a passion of ours, but our bigger passion is conversations we have every week, which is around legacy, leaving a legacy of goodwill in our communities most in need. And the group was very supportive of that. So we started the journey of looking at creating this association to make sure that we can actually drive funds to give to underprivileged or marginalized or equity challenged organizations. And initially we picked two. And as we started to get a little bit mature, we started to do a little bit more digging into where are the most needy, where can we help, depending on how much we can actually get, how far can we actually cast this net. So we picked a couple of organizations that we thought were near and dear to us and that we could actually immediately find impact, starting with groups like Tropicana, Taboo, from a health perspective, from a youth perspective, that covered the lot. We also looked at Black Kids Who Code, and we were mostly looking at Black Girls Who Code because our mandate at the time was to make sure that we're giving back to the elderly community, we're giving back to youth, and we were actually locking into female empowerment because we recognized through this game of golf that there's not many sisters that were there, and we were wondering, like, why not? So as we started sort of to discover the why nots, we became more and more, I think, attached to the fact that women have to be included from a support perspective, either for golf or whatever it is that they're best interested in. And this year we actually added Ladder to Rise. I met Sister Ruth, who leads the organization, and I know you know her, Ryan. She's very focused on making sure that our youth are set up to do better in future. Her program actually supports making sure that one of her programs, one of the tentacles, make sure that some of the kids who aren't able to go to work with their parents for take your kids to work day are able to go through a program. So we joined together and talked a little bit about how could we support from a mentorship and money perspective, and proud to say that we were able to actually sponsor 5 youth to take your youth to work this year, and we hope to double that or triple that next year, as well as double or triple what we're giving to the other organizations. So that was the genesis. You know, that's our mandate, is to we love playing golf. It is the Curtis and I talk about it a lot, as well as the network talks about it a lot. Golf really is the backdrop. Most of us fell into golf. Not all of us were sort of born playing golf or knew golf. My story is I literally lived down the street from a golf course. I would pass by every day going to school when I was younger. And as funny as it sounds, I thought it was a cemetery. Why? Because I'd never seen land space that big and it not be a cemetery. And not until, like, fast forward 15 years later, after I started playing, I got the opportunity to go back and play at that golf course. And when the guy was telling me where it was, I said, "No, there's no golf course here. That's a cemetery." He says, "No, come on in."
Yes.
When I got in and saw there was a golf course, I thought, my goodness, we are missing so much, not because we're ignorant, but because we're ignorant of the fact that these things are there and available to us. Why do I say that? Is when I got in and I started talking to the people who actually own the course and are taking care of the memberships and taking care of the programs, I discovered that in my community at the time, they had a practice of going back and getting youth from the community and bringing them in to do things like caddying to make money for the summer, teaching them life skills, having them fix the greens, having them be a part of the culinary experience. And I thought, there's no way that, you know, if I hadn't come here, I would have known that they actually had that program in my physical community, because we didn't advertise it in our community. They did it through the schools. Teachers picked who they wanted, or people who knew how to volunteered. So again, that just set my juices in motion. I said, okay, we really need to actually start focusing on promoting this stuff. So we started to link with groups like Golf Ontario, Golf Canada, to see what programs that they had that were supporting youth, in particular Black youth or marginalized youth, and seeing where we can actually get them involved in the sport, grow the game, and grow philanthropy through the game to make sure, again, we touch as many lives as possible that are in need. So a lot said, but, you know, I'm very passionate about this stuff. So you guys can have to stop me from talking, because it's what I live and breathe.
Well, no, you gave grace and space for Curtis to finally show up. Good morning, Curtis.
Look, I was here a while. Listen, I'm the guy that has all the technical issues, but I've been listening to you guys from the beginning, because I'm an early bird. I'm not a late guy. Garfield will attest to that. But I listened to everything that Garfield said, and he's bang on as far as our mandate to grow this game. And like Garfield, I ended up starting to play this game and said what a stupid game, and then 15, 20 years later fell in love with it when you understood what it was all about. So we're using this as the vehicle, as Garfield said, to bring the community together. And it's a lot of work, and thank you, Ryan, for having us on this platform to share the knowledge.
Well, good. I will let Ryan go in a little bit more in just a second. I want to
Yeah.
catch up on some comments. Frequency event promotion goes hashtag shiny beacon. Speaking of Dr. Tachi, there she is. Good morning, all from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Flick Fireworks is in the house. What is up, Flick Fireworks? Good to see you. Frequency event promotion says, great job, Garfield, for going beyond the backdrop. Frequency event promotion says, Flick Fireworks in. Greetings. They're saying hi to Frequency event promotions. And she says, blessings, Frequency. All right, Ryan, keep on going.
Well, I was curious. So, Curtis, you said you fell into golf as well, and got to hear a bit of Garfield's story on why he fell into it.
Yeah.
What pulled you in?
Well, I'll try to keep it a little, because Garfield went real deep. But so I was, I fell into this game in 2006. So I was in sales in the financial part. So one of my coworkers says, "Well, now you're in sales, you got to play golf." I go, golf.
Right.
So that's how I got into the game, and then ran into one of my buddies at the golf course, and found out it's one of the best games you can compete with. So I fell in love with that part of it. It's the competing part that we don't understand, that to hit that simple white ball, it's not that easy. It looks easy, the pros, but the challenge of it. So you're always trying to get better. So I played a lot of corporate golf at the beginning. So that's what I did. I took clients out, play golf, shoot 120, and I'm happy. I go home and like the average golfer. So
yes.
And then when I found out all the competition part around the game, it just I just went in hook, line, and sinker. So Garfield will tell you, I'll play, and I'm extremely competitive, but fair.
Yes, gotcha.
All right, good stuff. So let me ask, what makes your organization unique to other golf organizations in Canada?
Great question.
Wow, good question.
I'm
not sure.
I'll give my part, and then you can give your part, G.
Sure.
I think what we're trying to do is and Garfield mentioned before, we're all inclusive. So it's not just the color of your skin. It's if you believe in what we're trying to do, give back to the community. So that's our number one focus. And Garfield said it perfectly. The golf is just the backdrop. It's for us as individuals to give back to our communities, young, old, middle-aged, women, seniors. So that's what we're trying to do. That's what makes it a little different. And forget the competition part, because we'll always have the competition part in each golf league. And you can take over, Garfield. So.
No, well said, Curtis. The thing that I think we are, in ways, we are no different than any other golf group. But the association itself is different, because we use golf as the backdrop, and golf for us is a way to get together, to network, to grow the game, to grow ourselves. We have a lot of conversations during, before, and after the events, just about sort of life, what's happening in life. We actually care about our playing partners, our members, our association members, from the perspective of sort of how are you doing. We look at things like the charitable giving as a big part of what we do, but we also look at things like health, mental health. If there's a brother that's actually looks like he's struggling, Curtis, I, or one of the other brothers would in their match would be asking, "Hey, how you doing?" And if there's something serious that's going on, there is a call to action that happens at the end of the round or during the round, where there's a conversation. There is a directing to the place that best suits the support they actually need. So it's bigger than the game itself. For us, we use the game as a vehicle to make sure that we're getting together, we're giving back, but we're also staying well. As I'm sure you guys both know from a lot of the conversations you've been in past, is mental health is a big thing. It's a big thing in our community that's not spoken about. Loneliness is a big thing as you actually get a little bit older and people actually start, going through the terrible things like divorce and separation from family and stuff. It manifests itself in different ways. So this offers us an opportunity not just to give back to the community organizations, but to give back to ourselves, to make sure that the people that are around us that we really care about, we stay in touch with, be it every week, twice a week, and we're actually checking in. How are you doing? What's happening? Ryan, from being in our group chat, we're also on IG at UBGAC. You'll see that a lot of what we're actually doing and promoting within that chat stream is events that are happening in the organization and the community that is, we think, of value to the membership. Very seldom is it about a golf event. It is more about the foundation that's happening or that's coming in place that we think might be able to benefit some folks or might need some support. There's a social event that's happening that we think some people might actually be involved, might want to get involved in. There's a charity that started up that, somebody's actually raised a concern about in past. So we make sure that that's out there. Also, things that are available to us, like, again, health and wellness. There's a lot of conversation about health, as you see, as we get a little bit older, some of the things that we need to be aware of. Folks will stream or push in the stream all the time around how to make sure that you're healthy from a prostate perspective, from a mental health perspective, heart conditions, how are you making sure that you're actually taking care of yourself, things like leaving a legacy, wills, financial health, all of that stuff is a part of what we're about. It's not just the golf, it's about how do we make sure that we are well as a community and we can actually stay as well as possible so we can continue to give to the organizations that we think are most in need while taking care of ourselves, because that's absolutely necessary.
Good stuff. Got some comments here. Nino and Lo says, good morning. Minion Camp. Yeah, Minion Camp says, found adopted golfers empowers individuals' cognitive, physical, sensory, health, and age-related challenges to use the game of golf as a tool to improve their quality of lives. But it's in the USA. All right. Tanya says,
okay, so the fact that it's in the USA is for us is not a barrier, right? A funny story. Golf is I've played other sports and very competitive. Besides being competitive, I found no other sport that you as quickly build an affinity with people that you do not know as golf. I could be traveling to Palm Springs to go play golf. And this is a true event. And I'm in the lineup and I've got a hat on and I forgot what hat I had on. And a guy says to me, hey, how do you like that course? And I'm sorry, what do you mean? He says that course. And I just take my hat off because I didn't know which one I had on. And I saw the course. I said, oh, and I loved it. I played it when? And within 10 minutes, I knew the courses he played. He played this course, where he likes to play, where we should go and play, what organization he's with, what job he does, got his business card, actually had a contact that I could pass on to another friend who's interested in that same industry. It is the strangest phenomenon. You will be on a golf course with somebody you've never met, and you leave feeling like you know more about that person after the 4.5 hours than sometimes their spouses. They tell you some things that they probably shouldn't, but it's that type of game where it brings out sort of as much as it's competitive, it brings out sort of the social aspect of human being. Walking in nature, connecting with nature also allows you to connect with, if you are not a grumpy dude or girl, allows you to connect with the person that you're actually with and share experiences. And it starts with golf, but it transcends golf and goes into life. It's the most amazing thing I've ever experienced.
I love that. And it's interesting because when I play, your body has the physical ability to do the thing, but it's so mental that you have to get out of your head. And I start to realize what you're actually thinking about. And then, so when you're playing with others and they're like, what's on your mind, and you start talking through like what you're actually is like blocking you from paying attention or just focusing, that's where you can really get deep into, again, like you said, what people are going through. And I love that as you guys play rounds, you actually give space to have conversations based on things that might come out, because it's really a safe space to just talk through what's really blocking you from your game. So I love that you've added that in.
Perfect. Perfectly said. It is a safe space. We create a safe space. Most of the folks that are playing together, we've been playing together for a couple of years now, and there's always new members, but we welcome new members in a very specific way. Typically, as they come in, they'll play with Curtis and myself first, sort of to get a feel for them, understand what they care about outside of the giving, what they care about in life, and typically we'd like to link them with others that are in the group that share similar outlooks on life, and have them sort of become a part of the family as quickly as possible. Because again, that it doesn't just allow them to be sticky; it allows them to have a positive experience through the game of golf, through the interaction that they're actually having, and that's very important to us. We don't want you to come and have a terrible time because you've paid your membership dues or membership fees. You think you're stuck there. No, we want you to come because, one, you care about the cause, you love the game, you love interacting with people, and you believe in what we're trying to do.
All right, you want to catch up on some comments here. Tanyi Coletta's, kudos, Ryan, very insightful. Watching from Finland.
Hey.
Okay. Minion Cam says, I'm searching here for golf for the disabled organizations are mostly in the U.S. I'm finding I probably need to search more for a Canadian organization. Lisa Diamond says, great energy and subject matter. I've been encouraged over the past few years as a new golfer by connecting with Garfield. Good guy, good cause. Mm-hmm. Oh, I knew Wayne Harris would be here. Good morning, gentlemen. I'm a terrible golfer, but this looks like a vibe. I am with you, Wayne. Maybe you and I need to go out with them and get to improve on our shot making. Frequency of Info says, I'm a great golfer, quote, in my dreams, unquote. Does your organization provide community-based lessons? Good question.
Hey, that's a great start because I'm even terrible in my dreams.
That's a great. Yeah, we have two members that actually have their teaching card, so they can provide lessons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Part of what we're doing in 2025, we did a bit of it this year, but a part of what we're doing in 2025 is we're extending to youth and youth programs, linking with other associations and through our association directly as well, providing space for people to come out every Saturday or Sunday, whatever the day is, for lessons to sort of get involved, to sort of understand how to hold your club, how to swing, what you should be thinking about. We also stream sort of videos on sort of the self-help videos, which can be great and can be terrible. Before I go further, I want to say a big shout out to Lisa. Lisa is very, very modest. I met Lisa years ago and got into, we both developed a passion for golf and talked about golf. And we started sort of sharing videos of, here's my progress, and where she is now compared to where she was 4 years ago. It's absolutely amazing. She's out more than I am. She's feeding up the boys. So, shout outs to Lisa, and don't sell yourself short. You're doing good things.
Okay. And Frequency of Event Promotion says, they say the golf course is a great place to have business meetings. Yes, many a business meeting is had on the golf course.
Yes.
Many a business meeting. Got a question. So how has the organization evolved over the years, and what are some of the biggest milestones?
Well, you want to start, Curtis, or you want me to? I've been doing a lot of talking.
No, you go ahead. You got this one. Remember, I'm the program director.
You're the program director. So where we started very small. We started with a bit of trepidation. How do we get involved? How do we help? So we started, the first year with sort of food drive and looking at elder care and how do we actually help with that. And we started with probably, I'd say about, it was 40 members that were out. And we didn't have a good structure around, how do we make sure that membership price is right? Because membership actually includes a bunch of things. And we didn't promote it well, but we've actually evolved a lot. So, as you actually become a member, now what you're actually responsible for, or what we're responsible for in caring for your membership fees is we make sure that you have access to the courses. We make sure that, things like trophies, the competitions are set up. We make sure that there is a tool that's there and available for you to actually put in your score so that there's no wasted time on the course or after the course. So you can actually get to your eating quicker and for some folks, indulging some of the libations and stuff and making sure that there's more time to connect. Over the years, we've progressed to make sure that we're actually offering our services to a wider net. And we've done a better job of promoting who we are, what we are. We've created a web space. We've got IG that's actually out there. and people are actually being attracted that way. And the more members we bring in, obviously, the more we're actually able to collect, and the more we're able to help. We've expanded where we want to help. So again, we started with just the two areas of support, and then we quickly moved into youth from the perspective of education, of character building, simple things like people finishing school wanting to go to college and university, they're not having money for the application. Stuff that we never sort of either experienced or never talked about experiencing. So simple things like that, we make sure that that's covered. A lot of the folks that are actually in the group have grown to be more professional in nature. So we've also actually branched out to make sure that as we actually join these other programs where youth are involved or elderly are involved, and they have education that's required, we have members that we can actually call on, not just to teach them golf, but to teach them some of the things that they're actually lacking. Financial literacy is a part of the program. Things like character building is a part of the program. We were fortunate to be a part of a group a couple of years ago through one of our members, Anton Skerritt, where he brought out a bunch of kids that were just approaching high school and allowed them to actually interact with our members who volunteered, just to talk about sort of what do you want to do, how do you want to get there. Golf, again, was the backdrop. They were hitting balls, they had food to eat, they went on the course for a little bit. But the biggest thing for them was to connect with Black and other professionals that were interested in the field that they wanted to go in, or they had no idea what they wanted to do, what field they wanted to go in. But talking to people, they developed interest in certain areas and stuff. So making sure that those things are there and available is now a part of the mandate where it wasn't there before. And we're also linking with groups that are international, which is why I said, the fact that they're in the U.S., not a big deal. We've reached out to groups that are international to say, hey, listen, we'd love the opportunity to actually link together to actually have what we call either an interclub or a match play event or a Ryder Cup event, where we're bringing a group of folks over to go play them, and they will then in turn at one point come over and play. And again, it just breaks down the barriers of the geography around golf, making sure that we're all connected, making sure that we're all sharing this great history of golf together, because as many people know, we weren't exposed to this game in the past. And even those that were exposed to this game were exposed to some things that were not super cool. I don't want to get into the depth of the history of golf and some of the challenges, some of the great players that never actually got the notoriety that they deserved had to experience, but making sure that that history is there and preserved for folks that are here in Canada to see, because Canadian golf history is very small compared to U.S. golf history and the history of golf on a whole.
Gotcha.
Curtis, anything you want to add? I know you're the program director, but we want to make sure you have space too, right?
Well, yes. So part of that thing is, and to answer your question, the growth, the biggest part I see with the growth is we have more members joining. So originally, and Garfield's really generous with the 40, it was struggling with the 40. We probably had like 15. So we're at 150 strong. And our mandate for next year is that we want to increase that by 20%. So we just want to get the word out there, get the fellas, and listen, this isn't just for fellas, it's for ladies too, because we actually do want to have some ladies join. So it's putting that out there. So we're open for any ladies to join our membership. So the brothers doesn't mean it's just guys. It's just we include the ladies in there as well.
Good stuff.
Brotherhood for us is anybody who shares the spirit of giving and the mandate, the support of the mandate that we have. Our philosophy really is based on the African proverb, each one reach one, each one reach one, each one can teach one, and each one teaching one, we all rise together. It really is what we actually believe in. And I think, the 20% is, I believe, modest, but again, we have challenges around how many courses we can actually get on and all that kind of stuff. So
well, that's the biggest challenge. That's the biggest challenge.
We're managing that way, but we also have some ideas really around how do we actually make the group bigger than just the golfers. We love golf, and golf really, again, the reason for golf for me was as I got into this game, I found no other game that actually mimicked life as much as golf. And you'll hear a lot of people who are adamant golfers talk about this stuff. The discipline that I learned through basketball and through volleyball was strong. It was more about, physical awareness, staying healthy, being there with the team, socializing with the team, helping out that one weak spot on the team. If you're that one weak spot, counting on the fact that somebody would help you. In golf, I learned a lot more around perseverance, around accountability, around honesty and integrity, around social conditioning, being able to get out of my shell and talk to people. Curtis is absolutely right. It is through golf that I was able to land my first contract as a individual consultant, and it happened just because of conversation. Why those other areas were clear, like the accountability and stuff, is as you play the game and you start playing in a way that's competitive and adheres to the rules of golf, you realize that quite quickly you have to be honest with your scores, but you also have to be honest with yourself. How good are you really? Where are you really struggling? You have to actually really be dedicated to working on that part of the game that you are struggling in order to get better, to become more consistent. Golf is, I heard Cat Williams online a while ago, and he summed it up real nicely. As much as he's a comedian, he's also very passionate about golf, and he's got some very good anecdotes about golf. And one of the things he said was, golf is the only sport, like golf is like life, where, you look at a golf game as you go to a golf game or a golf match, you're out in nature, and the way the game is structured, there's a bunch of obstacles that are put in your way that you've got to navigate through. You get an allowance of a bunch of tries to get it through the round, through the game, and nobody can actually do that for you. You have to do that yourself. And the whole practice is around, how do I navigate through all of this mess and get to the end goal of getting the ball in the hole with as little, not effort, but as little strokes as possible. And if I don't, that's okay. There's learnings in that I can apply to tomorrow. And tomorrow's there waiting for you to do the exact same thing over and over again. The obstacles are just like life. If you are careful, if you plan well enough, doesn't mean that you'll avoid all the obstacles, but you'll navigate through some of them. And when they do hit you, hopefully you build up enough resilience where, tomorrow you start your plan again, you start your game again, and those things that you avoided, great. Those things that you weren't able to avoid, you learn how to avoid next time. So for me, it's like the game of life, and it's why it's become a passion to me, and it's why I think as we bring youth into the game, it becomes a great vehicle to teach them about life, about accountability, about responsibility. Putting your scores down wrong is not a bad thing. Putting your scores down wrong and I sign it, shame on me, because I've actually told a lie. Like it's that very simple thing that can actually get you disqualified from a round. So you learn how to become accountable. You learn how to become responsible. You learn how to become honest, and how to try your best as you get into competitions or as you play to get better. There's a reason why all of the ex-athletes, from basketball to football to baseball to boxing, are in golf. It's the last challenge that's left that is an individual challenge that allows you to go home feeling frustrated about, you thought you were good, you thought you were, and it juices you up for tomorrow as you come and you start that whole process again. It just, for me, that's why I'm addicted, because it's that whole process of trying to do better than I did yesterday. The course is the same, the weather conditions are the same, but the score is different. Why? Where did I mess up? How do I do that better tomorrow?
All right, let's catch up. Lots of comments in here. Lots. Let me just say, Ched C says, shout out to Garfield and Curtis. Minnie on Camp says she found a multiple sclerosis golf event. Good stuff. Nina Lowe says, I love your sense of community and camaraderie. You gentlemen are doing a fantastic job with your organization. Dr. Chatty says Cat Williams is actually quite brilliant. He is very high IQ. The McMillan Group, what is up? Says this is such an insightful conversation. You've inspired me to get back on the green. And also says great analogies. And Wayne Harris says, my middle name is Mulligan and my foot wedge is undefeated. LOL.
We don't do mulligans.
Well, Ryan, you have to leave in a few minutes. So, what if there's anything you want to add before you've got to go? Go ahead.
Well, I don't know if you can explain the concept of this handicap, because in the group I keep hearing about how it's calculated, and so I was curious if you can give an overview of what that means.
I'll give you a short. So it's the only sport, right, where your ability, like you could be playing a pro and you have somebody that's a novice. So the handicap actually levels the field. So let's just say, for instance, everybody knows Tiger Woods. So let's just say he's a 0 and I'm a 30. So I would get 30 shots from him through the 18 holes. That's the simplest way to go about it. So the calculation part, I'm not going to bore everybody with the calculation, but that's how you get the even level playing field with somebody that's really good and somebody that isn't. Now the 30 strokes may not help me, but as my example, but that's putting it in a nutshell for you. You might want to get a little more technical, G, but I'm just keeping it simple for the audience.
That's well said. That's well said.
Yeah.
It's technical is it goes too deep, the calculation.
Yeah.
But what Curtis said is absolutely right. It's again, golf is a game of fairness. So it's not fair to put somebody who's just started to compete against somebody who's been playing for 20 years and has a low index. So the handicap is just, it builds parity, right? It allows you to start off sort of on the same plane. You're starting off with 30 strokes in your bag, waiting for you to either mess up or not mess up. I'm starting off with 0. And my challenge is with my 0 to make sure that I get less than you with your 30 stroke. And I should be able to do that based on my average score and based on your average score. So it allows everybody to take part. It allows everybody to share in winning. You'll find a lot of times you'll go to events and the person who's winning is not necessarily the best golfer on average, but they were the best golfer that day. They played better than their handicap for that day. And the best golfer didn't play as good as their handicap for that day. So it brings parity and it makes it fun. It makes the competition spread across everybody that's playing, and not just the best player wins every single time. That's not what it's about. In the professional ranks it is, but not when you're playing amateur.
No, I appreciate that.
Lisa says, true lessons about life lessons, integrity and forgiveness, self, great sport. I have a conversation piece, and you mentioned a little about youth. I want to go on this conversation piece. What role does representation in golf play in inspiring younger generations to take up the sport?
Well, that's a good question. It's a big question. It's one that not that we struggle with, but we mull over all the time. Golf is a wide sport, a wide industry. So the game itself is just a part of golf. There's also the aspects of golf that are creating the golf course, caring for the golf course, designing golf course, the business of golf, golf equipment. It's a wide sport, and it's not often looked at as a place that you can actually build a career, but it absolutely is. For me in particular, as I go around and I play golf everywhere, it's always disheartening to me that I see very little of us at a young age playing. There's some, but very little of us playing. And as I mentioned earlier, and Curtis mentioned earlier, is and some of the folks who are listening, it is one of the few games that I'd liken it to in business. Accounting is the language of business. Golf is a sport of business. Deals are made, conversations are had, relationships are built. Like, it can't be built in basketball. And if we teach our youth, if we expose it to our youth and we teach our youth how to interact, how to conduct yourself, how golf is like the game of life, how you shake a hand like you hold a golf club, where you're firm but loose and you're caring for how you get better. All of that stuff translates later on to how you actually live your life. All of that stuff translates later on to how you interact with people. I've seen more youth, blacks and others, enter golf, and they were shy today, but in a year, they are the most, not necessarily most social, but they understand how to communicate with everyone, people their ages, people older than them, males, females. And I think that's a great skill to have, is to be able to expose youth, black youth, to a game that allows them to build that level of confidence, to allow them to understand how the game actually can transcend just the game and go into careers, how the game actually really mimics life, the perseverance, the honesty, the integrity. And if you walk that walk, I don't care what field you go in, I don't care who you're interacting with, if that becomes who you are, you shine. That's my thought.
Anything you want to add, Curtis?
No, he's bang on. He's bang.
Right.
Well, I'll add one thing. You see,
Good.
good. You see, for me, it's when you have to spend, and like I said, I started the game when I was in sales, right? So you're taking clients out. So when you have to spend 4 to 6 hours with the individual, you actually understand that person. You know, you see how they interact, how they play, what their mental setup is, because that's all you have is time. You have 4 or 6 hours to communicate, and you find out a lot about somebody. So that's my 2 cents.
Well, to add on to that, you find out a lot about how people deal with adversity.
Oh yeah.
Because no round is gonna go perfect. You're gonna hit every shot right. So anytime you see a person struggle with something and how they deal with it, tells a lot about someone's character that I've noticed.
True.
Yeah, 100%. And I know, Ryan, I know you've got to go, but your commitment for next year is you're going to be out. I know you're part of the group. You're going to be out. If I've got to come to your house and get you, the same as you can laugh all you want, brother, but we're going to find an event that you're going to be at. So.
Hey, I appreciate that. I think learning more about how the handicap works.
Don't worry about the handicap.
You don't
get out.
Exactly.
Get out.
Don't let Garfield fool you. These guys are legit.
No, I know they're legit, but don't worry about the handicap. Just get out.
Yeah,
that's the most important thing.
I will definitely commit to that. I appreciate
All right.
it. But continue both. So sorry.
Anyway, guys, thank you very much for the platform. And
I ain't finished with you yet. Ryan's gone. I ain't finished with you yet. Ryan's got to leave. He's gone. Got you guys. Two last conversation pieces.
Yeah.
What is one message or takeaway you'd like to leave our family with about your organization and the work you're doing?
Well, I'll start. It's for me, I think it's a great organization centered around giving back, building a network of folks, a collective mindset who want to do that, but also who want to connect. We're about growing the sport in our community here and elsewhere. The organization is really focused on the 4 groups that we actually talked about. Taibu, Tropicana, Ladder to Rise, as well as Black Kids Who Code. But there's always more organizations that we're actually wanting to support, and again, with greater membership, we're able to actually give more. I would love to see more of us here in the space and giving back, but just here in the group. Our goal next year is to have a big charity event that pulls in monies to be able to support more. It's right now May 30th, but it may change. So log into our website, ubgac.org, and on Instagram, we're ubgac. You'll see communication on sort of, where we're playing, when we're playing. We've got a variety of games that are actually centered around making sure that there's parity, making sure that we're bringing out new membership, making sure that people are having fun and connecting. We play match play events. We play Ryder Cup events. We have invitational events. And we have a year-long called Race to the Cup, Race to the Brothers Cup. So there's a lot of variety.
Interject there, Garfield? Just to interject. So we changed the name to Desai Williams Race to the Cup in memory of Desai. So I think that's important that the audience know that.
Perfect. Thank you, Curtis.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of members that are actually that have been prominent in sports at a very, very high level, from Olympics to basketball, to soccer, to football, you name it. They're all there, and they're there because of the sport itself, but also because of the organization's focus on giving back through the sport. So again, if you join, you're joining an organization that is focused on giving, focused on connecting people, giving back to our community specifically, but also connecting to people who are interested in mentoring the next generation to come.
And if I can interject, it's all about having fun. So it's for a good cause and having fun at the end of the day. So
Agreed.
that's what I'd like to leave it on, having fun.
And Curtis makes great pepper sauce that he brings in.
Oh, that's where he brings the heat. So he fires you up,
spice it up a bit. Spice it up
before you get spiced out, before he spices you on the course. He makes
the only heat that
lulls you
Curtis
to
brings
sleep
to
with
the
this the spice, and then he just dashes you on the green, right?
Agree. I would say, Dr. Brad, that's the only heat that Curtis brings to the game. In fact, there's a couple of others who are into the spice. You know, we've got Val Gross, who has his own little spice thing happening as well. Ray Williams, who I know you know
Yes.
from.
Yes.
Ray's a part of the group, and Ray brings his spices and stuff. We've got Kingsley, who brings some spice that's a little bit hotter than Curtis is, and that people are sharing of themselves in the group as much as playing golf. So whatever you specialize in, be it making hot sauce or making doubles and stuff, you can always count on something being there for people that sort of try it and become introduced to. That is a passion for one of the other members. So
fantastic.
Don't forget the patties. Don't forget the patties.
Yes, patties. Yes. Yes, thank you very much, Francis Chan. Francis owns Tasty Patty in Markham, and he is always contributing patties to our big events. So he's also a member, but he spent a lot of time this year building up his shop. So thanks again, Francis, for your commitment and your contribution, and we look forward to seeing you next year.
Well, for those who are watching live on the replay, I have the website up on the screen that you can take a look at. So I'll pull it down right now, and the contact information is there: website, Instagram, email, LinkedIn, and on most of the platforms where you're watching this live on the replay, that contact information is in the comment section. So, gentlemen, I want to say thank you for giving your time, not only today, but for this great cause. If there's anything we can do to potentially help the cause, don't be afraid to ask. I actually go out once or twice a year. Actually, I go out at least once every year with the guys who I played football and rugby with, and this year was a little bit of a challenge, but the first time I went out with them, I had the best first shot. After that, no comment.
Usually it's the last shot that gets you coming back.
No. And this year when I went out with them, my two best shots ended up right in the water. It was so bad. They were perfectly hit, just couldn't get by the water, but they were just hit wonderfully. So I want to say thank you again for everything. Continued success with the organization, and as always, don't just manage your time, manage your energy, and remember to give yourselves grace.
Thank you.
I thank you so much for the opportunity.
Anytime, drop the touch. I actually have some suggestions for your organization. We can chat about offline. All right,
man. Thanks again.
Well, keep the faith. All right, family. There's the contact information there: website, Instagram, email, LinkedIn. So, a lot to get into, but yeah, man, that was great. I learned a lot about golfing, learned more about golfing than I already did know. All right, so let's cover some things. As always, please subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. Let's get over that 1,600. I'd like to say that on Monday. We're at 1,600 YouTube subscribers, and share it out with other people. Like the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram to advertise your business, product, or service on any of the platforms I'm a part of. Email me, dr.vibe at the dr.vibeshow.com. Join the Morning Vibe Discord group. Email me at dr.vibe at the dr.vibeshow.com. All right, so if you are watching this on November 22nd, tomorrow night, November 23rd, and every Saturday evening, we have Primetime Saturday with Aisha and Lala, where they discuss the sense and nonsense that's going on in America, news and culture-wise. This Sunday, which is November 24th, heads up, people, especially your Black Canadians, I will be having a conversation with Brian Duarte, the interim vice chairman of the BBPA, and he's going to be providing an update on the status of the BBPA investigation. I'll be co-hosting that conversation with Angelina Williams, who is a former past chair of the Harry Jerome Awards, which is the BBPA's big annual event. And I had both of them on separately on the Morning Vibe. So we're going to be all three of us together this time. So if you want to get some context, search on the YouTube page, put in the Morning Vibe, Brian Duarte's name, and then in the search engine, The Morning Vibe, Angelina Williams. You'll get some context, but tell people about it, especially if you're in Black Canada. This is the first conversation they're going to be having in regards to updates. No other platform, no CBC, no CTV. No, they're coming here first. So that's great. Also, this Sunday, November 24th, live at 8 p.m., Black Men Can Talk, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Joe Corley is a licensed therapist, mental wellness consultant, and he'll be talking about the loneliness of Black men. And then finally, this Monday on the Morning Vibes, Station Frederick and Barbara Bungu of Big Brothers Big Sisters will be talking about the desperate need of Black mentors for Black youth through their organization. So lots of things coming up. So if you're near a screen, there's going to be a lot of me on this weekend. So this starts one tomorrow, 2 on Sunday. So 5 conversations in about 3 or 4 days. So hopefully you will be around either at least to catch the live or at least the replays and share the information out. So as always, you can catch replays of this epic conversation, the Morning Vibe on the Dr. Vibe Show, Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn, Afro-Caribbean Business Network on Facebook, and Ryan O'Neill Knight on YouTube. So let's close it out. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get small to get stronger. Block assumptions, then aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. Remember, don't just manage your time, manage your energy, and remember to give yourselves grace. Garfield, hey, thank you for the opportunity. No, we didn't chat. We shared. Stay blessed. And email me because I'd like to have a conversation about some suggestions in regards to increased. I know you mentioned about grants at the beginning of the conversation. I also think sponsorship could be up your alley too. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. Also, Opal Inspire says, what a great cause. I've always wondered what the fascination with golf. Well, explain and nature. I'm sold. I may even give it a try one day. Well, maybe I know Opal Inspire. Hey, maybe we just go to a mini putt place just to start off to have some fun. I'll put that challenge out to you. All right. All right. So as always, God bless. Peace to you well. Keep the faith and walk good. And hopefully we'll see you over the weekend. Hopefully maybe see you on Monday. But even if you want to watch repeats, chime in, talk about it, share it out. Another comment comes in. Mini Cam says, I can do mini golf. Maybe what we do for the people in the Toronto area, maybe we get together and do a mini golf get together to start off. Just a thought. All right. We'll see you. Gotta go. Peace.